you in the world.
Right back at you. Thank you for tuning in. We right back from the break. Right now we grooving. This is a song dedicated to a young brother that was with us that had passed away but long forgotten. We ain't forgot him though. You never forgot him. This is a song. This is our sisters. This groove moment. I want everybody to take a moment and groove for all those who they love, who they have lost. This is a groove moment right now. Silence.
Good to me. It makes me up, don't wanna come down. You got me spinning all around.
All the ones who lost somebody that they care for, somebody that they love.
Somebody, you're beautiful. Ain't that type of party now? What am I supposed to do when I want you in the world? Want you in my
There's somebody introduce you to life, shows you what life was about, gave you some skills and some tools that you can look back on today and utilize in your life today.
When I want you so, I guess I'll see you next lifetime.
Special moment.
We'll be just butterfly. I guess I'll see you next lifetime. That sounds so
Yeah.
I guess I'll see you next lifetime.
Everybody sit back and take just a minute, a moment of silence and just think about the ones you have lost and all the good times you have spent in that lifetime.
It ain't no wrong with dreaming, 'cause boy, don't get me wrong. 'Cause every time I see you, just how strong.
This what friends do and family members that love you.
But
They carry on the message. They carry on the feeling. They never forget you.
What am I supposed to do when I want you in the world? How can I want
Yes.
you for myself?
For all the ones who lost one, I lost a lot of people, man. I love everyone. Everyone. Yes.
I guess I'll see you next lifetime.
It's lifetime. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. That's what we talk about.
What am I supposed
Yes.
to do when I want you in the world? Want you?
Yes. Thank y'all for holding on, man. We right back from the break. Thank y'all, man. These sisters here, man, for just sharing a little bit of moment of love. But before we get started on the show, we know we're gonna dive into some deep ends. I want to give an update on my brother Red. How you doing, my brother? Give us a little update on quite a few things that's been going on with you. Then we're finna get deep in it.
Everything's still on top of all of it, you know.
Okay.
Bring me on stage, bring me on the beats. They just call me Red in the streets. So instead of shooting my special at Club Diamonds, I decided to just do more of a homespun situation. Due to the whole COVID thing, we couldn't work everything out the way that I wanted to work it out. So that is what it is. But we retooled everything. We retooled everything. We got it situated. So that will still be premiering on October 16th. Everybody be ready for that. Too many hugs, not enough hugs.
Already.
Funniest thing
Already. That's what's up. That's what's up. But now, I'm finna let these sisters let y'all have it. And I got this brother sitting on the side of me. He full force drive in everything that's structure, positive, and uplifting. And these sisters gonna give it to you. We're gonna pass the mic down there on Kente, then we're gonna vibe off Kente to Janina, then we're gonna vibe off Janina, and then you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna say quite a few things. We're gonna pass it back to Red. We're gonna let the people in the audience, if they have a question, they have anything they want to say or add, they have all privilege to do so. let's just go deep. Just right now, what we want to do right now on this stage here right now, we want to just break away from all shackles. We want to free ourselves mentally and spiritually. For some of us, Christianity, we in spiritual world. But some of the down deeper. And I know some individuals, like some people had tried to question me some part of my stage of speaking. But the difference is when I speak, it's deaf self. I don't speak what I Google or what I read. I speak for something that have been given to me for something greater to you and I. That's why I'm able to interpret what you are saying and see where you are coming from. And I also see where you are going and where you are headed. But at this moment of time, we're going to let these ladies give y'all some jewels that you can put not just in your pocketbook, but I want to let you know that the value of a dollar is perishing away. So these jewels here will carry you a long way when dollars don't even exist. Go ahead today. Give us a few jewels, please. Just off the dome. Just some just critical, but grateful and helpful. You know what I'm saying? Just some health.
I don't know if I'm speaking straight off the dome. I don't know. I kind of want to address the topic of labels and expectations.
Okay, go ahead, my sister.
When I say labels, I mean we tend to humankind created all these things, right? So
yes,
when I say label, I mean like friends, mom, girlfriend, wife, husband.
Okay.
A lot of times I feel like we create labels, and when we go into certain relationships or partnerships, shall I say, we have these expectations from a person. Like they're my wife, so they should clean the house, or they should do this in a certain way, or they're my husband, so they should buy me flowers. I don't know. As I started to heal and grow, I made myself let go of expectations going into any relationship with anybody, because when you expect things from people, you tend to sometimes be frustrated because you feel like it don't go right. But see, the problem is that we shouldn't even have these expectations. 9 times out of 10, a lot of people can't even live up to their own expectations. So you create these expectations of somebody else, but you can't even live up to your own expectation. You know what I'm saying? So I personally don't like labels. I feel like when I say labels, I feel like, okay, so a guy can go out and sleep with multiple girls, right? And not be considered a hoe. They could be considered a player or that guy, right? You know, if we use a street lingo. But if a girl go out and do it, then she's considered a hoe. I feel like it's crazy how we put people into a box because of what society believes. It's just like, I should be able to be free with my sexuality just like a man. So when I do what a man does, I should not be put into this box or this label. So again, I'm not really big on labels, and I really hate expectations because, again, like for example, on my birthday, I asked all my friends to, instead of buying me a gift, to invest in themselves and give me a picture of themselves. I'm very appreciative. I show mad gratitude. You know how far I've came. I got to be appreciative for anything I receive. Right. But I wanted to see them be able to invest in themselves and not necessarily invest in me. It starts with yourself. It's not necessarily about everybody else around you. A lot of people are so afraid of investing in themselves. They tend to invest in everybody else, but don't pour that same love within themselves. And so I think that's where expectations, where it all goes wrong at. So if as a woman, I'm buying myself flowers every 2 weeks, I don't expect a man to do that. Now, you're going to add that value to my life. I'm going to be appreciative, right? But I don't go into it with certain expectations. And so when we go into relationship with expectations, it tend to go wrong. The things that we do in our life, we should be doing it because we want to do it. And so when you invest self-love into yourself, then you start to do the things that you want to do. So you don't want that person to feel that void, right? Because you may have had daddy issues. Your daddy may have not been there in your life, so you feel like you got to fill that void with a man or love. And I personally feel like, I'd rather fill that void with self-love, So I don't know, the more you love yourself, the more you value yourself, a person will only treat you how you treat yourself. A lot of people get upset with other people about when things happen in their life, where in reality you create your own reality. So you can't get upset about one. You have to take your lesson and learn from it, because at the end of the day, you knew who this person was. You decided to go into it, right?
I got to take a shot.
So I don't know. I'm big on letting go of expectations. I don't know. My best friend,
or even listening, I gotta take a shot. Go ahead,
my best friend, no, I don't know. Even I don't know, with my friendships, like when I started to begin my healing process, I made it my duty to have a conversation with my friends that we did a lot of toxic bonding. We spent a lot of time talking about people being very negative. And so I would rather us be more positive and talk about the things we want to do for ourselves, how we're going to invest in ourselves versus talking about somebody else. Anytime you have time to talk about somebody else, is because that's how you feel within. And so you really don't want to, and it goes back to the first step of admitting where you are so you can grow from that person. A lot of times, a lot of people don't want to do that. And so they get stuck. And so we project those things onto other people, which is not okay. That's why it's important to fix yourself. But I don't know. I just really wanted to talk about expectations. So I ain't going to go off the off the radar. But when it comes to expectations, I feel like it's a big deal for people to understand that. That's why it's important that you self-heal, because when you go into a relationship, if you at a certain point of self-healing, then you don't have these certain expectations from your partner. And when they don't do these things, you don't get upset, because those are things that you already did within yourself, or you already do for yourself. So if a man is going to approach me, if you can't love me as much as I love myself, I don't want you.
Ooh.
I don't want you.
Ooh. Whoa. Hold on now. Hold on right now. Hold on right now. Hey. Hold on right now. Before we go, listen. I understand. Hey. Oh my goodness. Y'all give me 1 second. I gotta take a shot on this here. And I'm gonna be right back in a second. Let me take this shot here, because this heavier than the goddamn shot I'm taking.
Heavy. We dropping gems.
But before I get back to the table here in the brain chamber, I want to ask anyone out there, do they have anything to add or say or take or even encourage or promote or even increase? Kevin, now I'm going to pass it to Red, and then from Red, we finna get into that, what she was saying, because that is very heavy. Because I definitely want to say quite a few things on that, and I love every bit of that. And I call that fire. Before we go to Red, I want everyone to give a round of applause for great fire in truth. Thank you, sister, for a great fire in truth. Go ahead, Red. You have any? Just from a man's.
Excuse me, can Red respond to
Right
the woman?
Right though,
Yes.
like for real, like she's for real doing like the records, bro. She's looking at me, and she's
Right.
From the second she started talking, those
I mean,
first few words, I perked up, like just
Right.
I knew what she was doing.
Right. Exactly.
And I felt it.
Right.
I felt it so deep.
Right.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
I am a maniac.
Right.
By maniac, I mean like I have my highs and I have my lows.
Right.
Specifically when it comes to relationships. Like anything else in life, you know what I mean? Like, well, anybody else in life, I feel a certain way about myself. When I look at myself, I see me. I know who I am. I'm 31 years old, this same self.
Right. Come on now.
There are those around me whose opinions I value so much that they're the only ones who have any effect on how I feel about myself. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
I got something to say with that. I got something to say.
Hold on 1 second, sister. We finna come to you. Go ahead, my brother.
Main person being my significant other. Because the way I see it, this is someone who I felt was amazing enough to decide to spend an extra amount of time with. Like, I'm super introverted. I don't like people. I work in the public all day because I don't like people. You know what I mean? It's like Batman. He
Right.
take his fear and he use it as a strength. Like I take my hatred of people and use it to finesse them out of their money. All
Right.
day.
Already.
You know what I mean?
Go on now.
So
This brother here is talking
What up?
about something that's different now. Just different language. Go ahead, my brother.
So when it comes to my significant other, she's the person who I decided this is going to be my special person. This is my person.
Okay.
And she has decided in me, this is my person. Boom.
All right.
So
Okay.
how I feel about me comes off of how she feels about me because I feel she's amazing. So she is amazing.
So her
feels
opinion
I'm
means
less
something
than.
to you.
Her opinion means something.
Yes.
Her opinion means something. So that's a deep jewel,
See, here's
though.
the thing, though.
Come on with it now.
In my mind, I'm going off of what she said. I'm like, you know what? You don't love yourself enough.
Whoa!
Thank you.
That person.
Thank
Whoa,
you.
it's a flip side to this.
Yes.
It's a flip side. That's what you're saying.
Even though I
Okay,
have
come on with it.
decided to make this person that special in my life, I made that decision.
Okay.
They are
Okay,
special
okay,
to me
come on.
okay,
because I
okay.
say they're special.
So you chose that.
Exactly.
So
Choices.
what I want to say is this here.
Choices.
What I want to say this here.
Choices.
And when you say you made her special in your life.
Yes, I didn't make her special overall. I made her special in my life. I made her special.
But
in
see,
me.
this what's important though. See, special overall, it's a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
But when special to you separate from overall. So when something's special to you, it's more valuable than overall, because overall have multiple opinions and objectives and mores and values and decisions and reasons and whys and should and should not. But when it's personally from you, that's special. That's something deep in the root down. That's something that feel, that you be like, hey, like I was listening to the song here earlier today. It say when the guy said he tried to tell his brother to let it go. He said, well, maybe you ain't been in love like I've been in love.
What?
Maybe you ain't been touched by someone like I've been touched by. You know what I'm saying? So he can't understand. You feel what I'm saying? So that's a difference. So that's something special that you have chosen. So that means you let your guards down. That means that you have now flew to the top of your peak and planted your nest. And this is the individual you're gonna fly with, grow with, nurse with, produce with, and everything else.
No. No. The whole
Okay.
thing about what I'm
Plot
saying.
twist. Plot twist. Plot twist. Okay.
That's the mindset
That's it.
originally. But in
Okay, that's just the mindset. Okay,
and
what she
flipping
said.
it and just applying it to my own self, I'm looking at it as the reason I allow anyone, even someone who I choose to be special in my life, to have any influence over me, is because I make them special. Like that's the only reason.
But see,
Thank
now
you.
listen.
And if I don't allow them to do that,
Go ahead.
like, if I do not allow them to do that,
That's different.
then they no longer have that type of control over me. So regardless of any whim that they're having, I am still my whole self, knowing fully who and what I am, regardless of what they think.
Yes.
And that's a type of self-love that people definitely need, especially when they're a hopeless romantic. Because you can get wrapped up in somebody and lose yourself in them. And they could be a wholeheartedly great person. However, they are human and imperfect. So as they go through their life and they deal with things, they may make you feel as though you were less than.
Okay.
Because of some way that they interact with you, not even thinking about, oh, I'm making them feel this way.
Right.
So if you remove that ability from someone to make you feel that way, just on the whim, then you go through your life a lot more smoothly.
Yes.
A lot more stress-free.
Now, this is
still love them. They still up for. They still
right. Now
but
that's
they
a different
aren't special
level.
enough to make you
Now,
lose you.
That's true. Now, what you just said right there.
Choose you always.
Now, what I was explaining is exactly another era. But when you came back with your response, I understand clearly on that level. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, I can love you and be your friend and not hate you.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? And I also want to see you grow.
Hmm.
But if growing separate would be great for me.
Yeah.
Because I did my part. Everything's season. You know what I'm saying? Just find your place in the season. And that's how the game go. And I like that. And that was great chopping there. That brother right there turned around. You see him turn around and turn right around and hit me with a left, right, and a goddamn hook. I was saying one motherfucking thing. I went down the damn love road. He turned around and said, hey, Lil J, look here. I'm with love, but at the same damn time, you ain't finna roll me the fuck over. Because I love me without you loving me. And I like every bit of that there. And as I said, that's real shit. You know what I'm saying? I love every bit of that. And anybody I think got anything they want to add on to it before we pass the mic? Because this is, go ahead, the lady right there in the green hat.
I just got to, okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You have to love yourself.
Already.
Yes.
Shout out from the back, from the lady in the back. Like she said, you got to love us. You love yourself, and we must learn to do that. Go ahead, Miss Lady, the green hat right there.
I just want to make a comment. I think that from what Miss Kente said, I think he rolled off that very nicely, and it came together very well. And we understood that.
And one thing I can say now,
they are dropping some jewels tonight.
If anything that don't need fixing, you shouldn't fix it. You should make it better. I think it was great.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, we ain't finished, and we got a lot more.
A whole lot more. Let's get it.
And then you want to add something to that and higher.
I do.
And I see you just anxious right here. Look, sis right here just anxious right now to drop some jewels right now. Go ahead and drop some. Look, sis, go ahead and drop some jewels. You want to drop? Sis finna drop some jewels right here. We're going to let sis drop some jewels right here. She can drop some jewels.
First of all, I want to follow what Sean said in the audience.
Go ahead.
I mean, your choice of words was everything. Let's be clear. Everything that you were saying was real. See, I'm so big into, I'm so selfish when it comes to myself. What landed with me, you had made the comment about caring about a person to an extent of caring about how they basically could kind of alter how you feel in a sense. I'm so selfish about myself. I release all judgment of myself, and I take care of myself so much, and I love on myself so much. To be honest with you, I mean, even my mate, I don't care what they think. It's to a certain extent of letting go, releasing judgment of self, so one can't judge me. One don't sit there high in my life to necessarily judge me. That kind of landed with me. But your choice of words was everything. Self-love is everything. You can't go into a relationship and you don't love yourself. What I realized as I started to heal, a lot of times I was in several long-term relationships, and I swear I was in love, but I really wasn't. Forgive me, ex-boyfriends, when I say this. I say this because
right here now.
the thing is if I didn't,
go ahead, my sister.
If I didn't know myself and I didn't love myself to a certain extent, well, how did I really love you? How was I really in love with you? I didn't even love me. It's important for people to gain self-love, to learn how to love themselves, to learn how to love another. I can't love you if I don't love myself. It starts with me. And so again, a lot of relationships, I was very, very much trauma bonding. And it felt like love. It really was. I created great memories, but it wasn't love. I didn't love myself, so I didn't love you. If I didn't love me, I didn't love you. And I'm just being real. Like,
hold on, excuse me 1 second, sister. There's a sister right there. Hold on, excuse me, that man. The sister that raised her hand before you, right there in the back. Go ahead, Miss Lady. You right there. Go ahead, say what you got to say.
Before you go on with your story, something resonated with me.
What's that, man?
Trauma bonding.
All right.
Can you elaborate on that? What is
Please do.
That
was a cold piece of network
right there.
know
what it is, and I'm
like
sure
that.
a lot of people that may be watching might not know what it is either.
So when we're born as a child, because I'm really big on understanding that we just having the human experience, and I'm going to continue to stress that. And so when we're born as a child, we know nothing. The things that we learn is what's embedded in us from our parents, from the things that we experience in life, and also from society, right? And so because these things are embedded in us, we create these toxic ways and these toxic cycles. And we tend to, when I say toxic bonding, I think of, again, like I said, when I started to heal, it was important to me to have a conversation with all of my friends who I felt were my soul friends. Those are totally different from just a friend in the 3D realm. A soul friend is somebody who's going to be with me forever. Like, for example, with my best friend, it was important to understand that we were trauma bonding. We were basically bonding off of the traumas, off of the things we have been through, our daddy issues, our mommy issues, our self-hate for ourselves. Again, we spent a lot of time, like talking about people. I'm really big on judgment. I don't sit that high in nobody's life to judge, because I have overcome so much. You don't know what one is going through to even judge, So, I mean, we found ourselves judging a lot and spending a lot of time talking about people, and honestly, that was trauma bonding. That was us not really liking ourselves. So we, instead of us, really being honest with ourselves and saying we have our own insecurities that we have to grow from and heal from, instead we projected it onto other people. We talked about other people, and that's trauma bonding. That's not okay. So we built our friendships off a faulty foundation, off a negative energy. And so anytime, I'm big on energy, anytime you build things on negative energy, it's like a tower. You have one bad brick and it will fall. It can go on for 5 years. It can go on for 10 years. I was in a 5-year relationship. And let me tell you something. All the bricks weren't necessarily faulty, but it was a few that was, and that tower crumbled. It was meant to crumble. It was built on faulty foundation. We were trauma bonding. We had our own demons that we were fighting. And so, and I always say, and I laugh at it, I say that our demons was falling in love with each other. It really wasn't us on a soul level, because I never really loved anybody on a soul level.
She just hit something deep, y'all.
Let's be clear. And so because of that, it goes back to I can't really say I've ever really been in love. And please forgive me, exes. Honestly, if you don't, I'm fine with that too. That's between you and the universe. But, I just really feel like I can't say I was in love when I didn't really love myself. I didn't know what it felt like to love myself. I always say I want to live this moment for life because I know how to love myself now. And so because I've learned how to love myself, when I get into a partnership, because I don't like relationship. I really don't like labels. A partnership, right? You gonna build longevity with this person. You're gonna build a foundation. You're gonna build a life with this person. I've never really experienced that. It starts with building a life with yourself. I got to know what I like to do outside of a person. You can die today or tomorrow. And I got to know how to live without you. I'm just saying. Right. And so I'm so big on, I got to love myself more than I love you. So that way I can love you as much as I love myself. Right. And so I'm also big on people understanding, like when people say like, I need this from you, or I'm big on, you don't need me. You want this. And so the things that you speak is what come into your life. People sit in that type of energy a lot, and people really like create their own life because the words that we speak, spelling, it's a spell. We speak in those words we speaking it into existence. It's called the law of attraction. And so people don't understand that the things that you speak over your life, you're getting that to you. And so I'm big on staying positive. When I say I will do everything to protect my peace, I mean that I will cut off family. I will cut off friends. I will do everything to protect my peace. That's everything. I've came too far to get to this point. I had to dig deep on things I never thought I had to dig deep on. But once you learn to control your mind, that's a whole different feeling. You learn how powerful you are. Nobody could ever take my power.
That's a free thinker.
It's just, it just is what it is. I'm big on making sure that we understand that the relationships that we build is built on good energy with good foundation, so it won't crumble. And with my friendships, I'm big on making sure that we create great memories. We tell each other how we feel. You know, we don't. A lot of people don't talk about how they feel. So a lot of people say, "I'm frustrated or I'm mad." You only frustrated and mad when you're not speaking how you really feel. Tell your truth. Speak from your soul. And so a lot of people don't do that. And so you wouldn't feel frustrated or you wouldn't feel mad if you really tell people how you feel. Exactly. And a lot of people get afraid. And so
they get to living a false life.
Okay. And so a lot of people create illusions, that false life, because they living off of fear. They're not living off of faith. I no longer live off of fear. I live off of faith. I no longer allow people to judge me because I don't judge myself. I don't have time for that. I am human. Well, shall I say I'm having the human experience, let me be clear. And so I understand that comes with different emotions, that comes with lessons. I'm not about to hold myself to fault for things that I had to learn. It's just, yeah. So I don't know.
Let's get her a round of applause. She deserves a round of applause for heavy chopping. That's what we call heavy chopping. That's heavy chopping. When you talking about connecting dots, them dots connected. We talking about reading a map to get to the next location. That map have landed, and I like every bit of that. And like I say, to be able to just speak like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all come from an era where we know how you can be prepped to speak.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we can read scriptures. We can remember certain things, and that what I'm saying. It's different when you speaking to convince someone, or speaking of an ideal to get a vote. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. No. I'm just saying. Some of us see. This is a difference. A lot of us practice on speaking good. We go to speaking classes. That's a practice. You know what I'm saying? So you practice on these speeches. So you prepared to tell a good speech. But when you just flirtatious just from the gut, you know what I'm saying? When you just can't look over here and pull up your pad, your phone, you had remember something in class last week. But when you are speaking straight from the blood flow, this is something that we need to start recognizing, something like science. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. This is a different type of speaking. Sometimes, you can, like, for instance, some people say they could tell a story, tell the future. We'll run over there and be like, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen next year? Somebody told me this. What's going to happen next week? He like, I don't know. You say, he fake. He or she can't tell the future. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you got an individual that practice to do that. Yeah. They practice. They got license for it. But now you go to an individual, you don't even go to him or her. They just walk up on you and tell you, this is finna happen if you don't make this move. There you go. That's a difference. So what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is the message that the lady just delivered then is a different message from researching and Googling and dialoguing into different type of professional practice of speeching. This is a blood type thing. This is something that's going on that's inside her that we cannot see, that we cannot understand. That means that she in a position that looking outside the shell. See, a lot of us don't understand when I say looking outside the shell. A lot of people looking at me like I'm crazy right now. It's especially a lot of educators. They don't be like, man, what the hell is he talking about? He don't know. So they're going to break down the percentage and all that blase. But when you get to, you know what I'm saying? When you get totally in tune, your body will become a shell. You will be looking outside the shell. You would not be able to recognize who you are. You cannot identify yourself anymore. So you look at it, when you speak, you look in the mirror and be trying to find the individual that spoke at that moment, that had you on that high. But when you recognize, since you know a lot of great Christians out here, I don't know what I'm saying, I'm just saying. When he said he carried you in the foot in the sand, you know, you look for the extra, and it was like it was one footprint, and I carried you. You know what I'm saying? Or I went ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? All you had to do is make your way. You know, same terminology, just in a different format. You know, so basically the moral of the story is once he speak to you, and I want everybody in the globe to understand this. This is truth. The truth separates itself from a fact. A fact is something that you have to prove. A truth stands alone. Once he speak to you, or she, because you know, a black woman have a gene that's inside her that no other creature on earth have, and she's a descendant from God. So we're in a situation right now of an overflow. Who was first? Now we look at Adam and Eve. This is another topic. We'll get into that. But just saying, just dip over that lane a little bit there. But like I was saying though, back to the point. When something greater than you and I speak to you, your peers cannot even understand or interpret exactly what you are saying and feeling. They will tell you to go to a psychiatrist or whoever the case they may be. But I will have to tell you the story. But when he speaks to you, you don't have to tell a story. All you got to do is listen to the story that's told to you and deliver. It's a different living in the valley being the messenger. Appreciate your educators. You don't add anything to that, my brother.
I think educators are very important. However, I do think that educators are not nearly paid enough
at all.
But I think that's a common enough assessment that is ridiculous that it hasn't been fixed. Like, it's been a joke since I was a kid. Like, I don't know what's going on in the world. There are a lot of things that people act like just aren't facts. Like, teachers aren't paid enough money. Child soldiers exist. The Tuskegee experience was a real thing. Like, people honestly just act like stuff does not really happen. It's just fake. I don't know where the minds are, man. Honestly. I know where mine was, though. I spaced out while you was talking.
Right.
I'm not even going to fake it. I heard the thing about educators, and so that's what I jumped in on.
Right.
Reiterate for me what it was he was saying, and I will try to respond to it.
No, we don't have to. You just picked up. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. So,
you know what I'm saying? We're talking about education, which I also know they didn't spend billions of dollars into the education system, and the same group of individuals is failing in the education system. And though we right now, most of the legislators are winning legislation through education, and you know what I'm saying, getting these funds for these schools, which we're making different designs of schools to keep up with technology, dealing with different type of states and other type of, you know what I'm saying, cultures of living, which is the same group of individual that's still failing in education and making under $30,000 a year, which is actually they were fighting for $30,000 a year, which is $15 an hour. But since we're dealing with education and the programs that are taking place, while we're pushing this fund, we're going to spend to every legislator in the country, president, governor, or any other individual in this country had won off the back of education and school funding, which same group of individuals that make it under $30,000 a year is still failing in education. I think that's a problem now.
It is a problem. You know where that problem arises from? In my very, very humble opinion.
Yes, sir.
The fact that schools and education are both misnomers.
Yeah.
They're training centers that have been
Right.
privatized. Like they're
Right.
privatized training centers.
Right. It is
They
a program.
teach
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
what
can agree.
people, like folks have decided they're gonna learn.
Right. It's
They no longer teach free thought, like you said.
Right,
Like, I
right.
remember when I was coming up, they had like these little critical thinking sheets. And as a kid and as a teenager, I didn't even really think about the idea of critical thinking.
Right, right.
And it's like, that's not something that's hammered into your head. That's like busy work. You know what I mean? That's something they just give you to do. They don't really expect you to put any effort into it. Now, they will hammer into your head, show up here on time, be here 5 days a week. Like,
right.
Socialize. Like, participate in these after school activities. They will train you to go to work every single day.
To be a consumer.
For someone, to be a consumer. Because
That's
every
right.
time you play a sport or do an extra like curricular activity, what do you got to do? You got to pay something. You got to pay to play. They will definitely train you for all that. That critical thinking, that's going to be 25 minutes, probably 5 minutes at the beginning of the class. That's not what we're going to focus on. When in actuality, that's all like universities were. Like teaching people how to like think critically. Like philosophy was one of the main staples.
Philosophy is the greatest, one of the greatest courses.
And we've lost so much sight of that it's like teachers come into it and they have such hope and such passion, but the only thing they can really do is do a very good job of teaching what they have been told to teach. Unless they're in a situation where like a couple people I know, they can throw that little spin on it, make sure that they do what they're supposed to do.
Right, right.
Some extra on the side, like if they're willing to go that extra mile, definitely give them a couple $100 a year. But like a lot of them, like they just fall into this groove where they just,
why?
Do what they tell them to do.
It's a program.
It's a privatized training center.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree.
We ourselves as parents need to instill in our children and our young people. Just say stuff to them all the time. Just like, yo, it's bigger than this. Look at the surface, because it's 3 levels. It's the superficial.
Yeah.
It's what they don't want you to see.
Yeah.
And what they need you not to know.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like once you have an understanding that everything you see exists on those 3 levels, then you start breaking it down. And you explain that to kids and they start looking at the world different. People not really gonna be able to fuck them that easy. You know, sorry. Like people can't really fuck them that easy because they're gonna be looking.
So you
it's like telling your kids about child molesters. If you tell your kids people trying to fuck you, they'll be more conscious of people trying to fuck you.
So you telling me if you give our children, we give our children that type of breakdown and training in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? As they are training their children in the beginning to know the difference between you and I. You know what I'm saying? And them. You know what I'm saying? So you saying if we give our children that type of training, that type of breakdown in education and understanding of the program and the document of this type of school system, this type of, you know what I'm saying, strategy that have been used and forced upon you, but learn how to utilize this strategy to be able to gain ground, you know what I'm saying, so you can be able to excel in a safely, in a successful, you know what I'm saying, in a way that you cannot be touched. So
in layman's terms,
go ahead.
Teach them how to grab every little corn kernel of truth, every slab of bullshit that they throw at you.
Because they're going to throw it.
And every time they throw a pile of bullshit, as you keep that little bit of kernel of truth out and let the rest of that.
Because guess what? The bullshit is the shit that go make you defeat the real shit that they talking about. Because all are the same. Let me explain to you why. When they throw out some bullshit to you, you'll be able to interpret. Because when they come to you with the real shit, because everything they do is bullshit. That's why. So, but before we end the show, it was very great and very heavy, and I appreciate you, brother, doing everything you had said and the correction and everything. And you sis, man, hey, y'all been just, hey, when they say black women magic, this been some real magic. And I want you, hey, before we leave, I want y'all all to say, just drop a piece of joy for everyone before we leave.
Me personally, I'm gonna say this: like, healing is not easy. Like that shit is hard. Mm-hmm. But you must never give up on yourself. You must love yourself to fight through the dark, when you go into a dark spot, when you feel like you collapse, and you have to keep pushing if you want to grow and you want to heal and break cycles. And what still with me the most with you when you said teachers are underpaid, because I want to be an educator. I am going to be a teacher. Teachers are counselors. They are mothers. They're with your kids mostly throughout the day, right? And I feel like as a teacher, whether what they give you to teach, I feel like if you really give a fuck about the kids, you're going to teach them the correct education. Yes. You're not going to go off the curriculum. You're going to teach what they should know. Because when I was in school, my teacher taught me outside of what the curriculum was. So if you give a fuck about them kids, you're going to teach them Black education. You're going to teach what they should. Not what they say, Christopher Columbus say, or whatever. No, teach them, because we was already here. He didn't find nothing. He didn't find nothing. So teach them what they should learn. Don't teach bullshit. Teach the truth. Don't because I'm going to be an educator. I'm going to be a teacher, and I'm going to teach my kids the truth about history, because I'm also going to know my history as well before I teach my kids.
Oh, ready. Give it up for right now. Let them jewel. So drop us a 2-piece on the way out. I know you got one in you. You know you got one in you. Well, I appreciate your jewels too. Drop some jewels too. I love jewels. Drop another jewel out the wire, y'all. I'm gonna be jeweled up around this motherfucker.
I'm gonna end this with this. When I started off, I introduced myself and I said I'm the Empress, Queen of all queens. Understand that it's okay to invest in yourself. It's okay to choose you. It's okay to love yourself. You cannot love others before you love yourself. Take time to heal whatever that looks like to you. Don't feel bad because you may need to step away from friends, family. Take the time that you need. But understand that where you are right now does not define who you are from a soul level. That's just the stuff that was embedded into you. Don't give up. Continue to push. And I mean, hey, maybe one day, you'll be an empress or emperor. I'm just saying, queen of all queens.
Don't allow your past to define your future. Period.
Hey, tonight, I must say, this has been a great night for me, especially because these are individuals I started out with, and I appreciate y'all coming on, and I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone in the audience. I appreciate y'all, participating in the show. I appreciate y'all having the time to watch, and may God bless you all. Peace. We'll be right back at you with the memo with Sisters on Strong Intention. Thank you all. Man, I appreciate all y'all, man. Y'all changed me, man.